This podcast is produced by OnPod, a video content studio near you.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Today we are here with Matt from Matthew Lebeau Studios. He runs a studio that focuses on AR and web automations. Thank you so much for being here today.
Happy to be here, Kristen.
Great. So excited to get into this new wave technology spurt that's going to be big over the next coming years.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So when did you realize how powerful 3D animation and AR could be in branding?
I would say it was when I started to go to in-person festivals. I went to VCon. Do you know VCon, Gary Vaynerchuk?
No.
No. So he runs an NFT project called
Okay.
VFriends.
Cool.
So I went there as one of the holders. And when I went there, I was just kind of overwhelmed by the amount of IP that was in the space. There's a lot of characters, branding, that seemed to be a big prominent feature. And I just thought in the future, the IP is going to kind of take over because people really like characters, people really like stories. And then that I felt like would pair with a lot of business initiatives. I just felt like that was going to be something more prominent. And then from there, I kind of on the ground floor of VCon, I was like, wait a second, augmented reality would be so much cooler. It was kind of the step up level that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
And then I met up with a developer friend who knew the tech side. So my friend that I saw was the 3D animator, and then he was the tech side, and we kind of got together to create some augmented reality stuff together.
Great. Yeah, that makes total sense because there's a lot of symbolism and branding that goes along with businesses, and you need to get that IP in place, that intellectual property, to be able to claim that as your own and make sure that nobody encroaches on that story that you're telling. So that's very good. And NFTs, that kind of comes back to crypto and the blockchain as well? Or?
Yeah. So NFTs, non-fungible tokens, basically that is tying ownership to anything digital. Okay. That's the simplest way of explaining it. So it's the same way that if you own a house, you have a paper that tells you that you own it. In this, it's just that paper is just online.
Yeah, so it's on the blockchain. Nobody can kind of say that you don't own that.
Yeah.
It's right there, and it's probably more easily accessible than a piece of paper.
That's the point. It's more easily accessible and verifiable. And then that means that let's say you have a bunch of digital assets. I could go take a look at your wallet and see what you're about. Okay. That's the thing that people don't really notice is if I have if you look at my wallet and you see a bunch of Pokemon stuff, you're like, oh, he likes Pokemon. Maybe next time we're together, we can, I can mention Pokemon. And so the interrelatability of it gets enhanced. So I think I thought that I understood blockchain really well. So then it just felt like we have all these digital assets already. Where else can they go? And then I was exploring mediums that currently weren't prominent, and AR seemed to be one of those mediums that nobody really is going after right now. We had Pokemon Go that was really big, but then we haven't really had more. And then also Snapchat filters, AR filters, those are really good. There's a really good marketing initiatives because it's built into the devices we already use. It's in the TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. It's already in the apps. But looking for more medium, something that I could step into, image scan and on products seem to be something that nobody really is doing right now.
I feel like it's talked about, but is there a high cost associated with getting your business to have some characters and to have some of this AR put into your product lines?
So it used to be really expensive because you needed to build an app. Okay. And building an app is you have to the development cycle takes a long time. Getting it on iOS and on Android took a while. But now with something like WebAR, and there's other paid versions of it, but just WebAR, you can, if you have your own studio or your own thing, or your own developers, you can build that custom yourself. There's a way to do it for free for yourself, but you can also hire out. And because you don't need to do any apps or any downloads, the development cycle is a lot smaller. And you basically, if you have the code ready, all you need to do is just make a 3D asset and import it. And those AI features are getting really good now. So it's almost getting to a point where businesses could do this for themselves. Yeah. Right? You don't even need to hire somebody outside, but some people might want to do it just so that it's, it's done, it's out there, right? But WebAR specifically, the way it would work is I'd show you a QR code. You'd scan the QR code. It would go to my website. And then from my website, you'd see the AR. And then maybe that AR goes to a link. You link to the product. Now you've just hit my call to action, right? Okay. So it's you've stepped over, no, don't download, no like, oh, I gotta wait. Oh, sorry, I don't have Wi-Fi. You know, it's just QR, boom, you're on the AR screen. Whether it's environment AR where you're like looking and you see it there, whether it's face camera and now there's a background behind you, whether it's fully immersed in a reality, or whether it's like take a product, oh, scan it, or this has an NFC tag. You tap the NFC tag, now you scan the shirt, now the shirt pops out there.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that. That's like an NFT too, right? Like you can have like a shirt or I've seen that in the crypto space, I think.
Yeah, you can have wearables. You can have a hat, you know.
Okay, yeah.
But there's also NFC tags, right? So you just tap it and then boop, your phone gets it. So
that's so cool.
NFC tags, I feel like it's going to be QR first. Then people are kind of coming up to NFC tags. People are used to it with Apple Pay, right? But I feel like it's just like, that's like the next step. I think QR is going to be big.
Right, for sure. Okay, what is an NFC tag? Like, is that dangerous? Like, how is it different from a QR code?
It's basically a QR code. It's like the same thing.
It just doesn't look as weird.
It's like tapping your phone.
Right.
And an NFC tag is basically like a small chip.
Okay.
Like I've taken them and I've ripped them apart. And it's just like a coiled thing, right? And it's like a sticker. You can put a sticker down, or you can put an NFC tag down, and you can put a sticker on top of it. Now it's like a sticker that you can tap.
Okay, cool. And it's not something that your camera would then have to take a picture of. It interacts directly with your phone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really neat.
Yeah.
Okay, let's circle back to branding. You describe mascots as emotional infrastructure for brands. What makes a great mascot, and why are mascots making a comeback in today's market?
I feel like mascots, it's relatability, and it's focusing on being a friendly character. Now, sometimes you need to relate to your brands and sometimes you don't. Like, what does Tony the Tiger have anything to do with the cornflakes?
Yeah, he's just funny.
He's just funny, relatable, and he says the words, "They're great."
Yeah.
Right? And maybe you wouldn't think about cornflakes, right? But like everything is Frosted Flakes, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think about Frosted Flakes, but you think about Tony the Tiger.
Right.
Right? That's the difference, right? You have something that anchors your branding, your messaging, your story, right? And then now for cornflakes, like what do you want to do for Frosted Flakes, right? You're going to do marketing initiatives, right? How do you express cornflakes in all these different ways? Now you have a mascot, you have your character say all those lines, say all those things, interact, right? And what we're seeing now is with AI, people are interacting with digital entities.
Right.
People are interacting with digital entities. They're talking to digital entities. Now now every single brand is going to want to focus on having their character be the digital entity that the consumer is talking to.
Yeah.
And you want them to be friendly, and you don't necessarily want them to be branded for your brand. Right?
Okay.
Because like yes, but also like, let's say somebody makes Tony the Tiger, you're talking to Tony the Tiger. Tony the Tiger could like talk about all these other products that are in the same ecosystem as the Kellogg's thing. Like, because people like Tony the Tiger.
Yeah. Like, so it's more for the person and not for the brand. It gives more of a sense of like personability rather than they're just there as an extension of that brand. They're more there.
I think brands are going to want to focus on making that character so like transcendent of what they're representing.
Right.
They feel personable enough to talk to.
Yeah.
Because like, do you want to talk to somebody who clearly just has all their logos on them and is like, hey, buy my product?
Oh yeah, no way. That's manipulation.
You wouldn't want to talk to that, right?
Yeah.
But if you wanted something that was so friendly, so likable, you want friendly, likability, you want cute, that kind of characterization, that's what you want to build for your brand. So that when people are looking for something to talk to digitally in a digital space, whatever that is down the future, right? Because we don't know where tech is going to move, right? They're doing glasses right now where you can see things, you can pull up websites on your glasses.
That's crazy.
It's absolutely crazy, right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing visual screens in front of our faces now, right? There's just a lot of opportunities to have a character that's likable and relatable that you can talk to. You want to create that for your brand now, so that when things are much more prominent, you're already there.
Yeah. And I like how that character can have its own personality too. Like just like when you talk to ChatGPT or something, you can kind of implement, you are a person that does X, Y, and Z. Please respond to me as if you were that persona.
Yeah.
So we're already kind of doing that, but to be able to have a character that does relate to your brand, but is there to serve the customer, that's like a really great spider web for success, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's funny because I do that with my ChatGPT. I'm like I could either get like medical advice or I could say, hey, you're Dr. House from House.
Yeah.
And then now it's like sassy medical advice, and he's like,
Yeah.
So I think it's really good
That's funny.
because you want it personal.
Yeah, there's another marketer I know that does that as well. And I think that's really great because marketing is very much about personalities.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that that happens. Okay. So in a world full of forgettable ads, what principles do you use to create a playful and memorable brand moment that is more engaging?
I would say focusing on like the person, but also focusing on something that's surprising.
Okay.
Surprising is very important because everybody's used to getting marketed to, everybody's used to these advertisements. But when you're able to find something that kind of gets underneath of that and gets to the, oh my God, like how did that happen? Or wow, those wow moments. I think that's what creates something that's memorable. And if you're trying to advertise, you're trying to create something memorable. Like I did one AR experience where you'd scan it, you'd see the AR experience, but if you refresh the page, it would be a new experience every time.
Right.
So that was one thing that people didn't expect. And I was, and usually when I have an experience that I'm just trying out, like I'll be beside people when they're going to scan it to talk them through the experience because it's still really new, right? One thing I found was I got a better reaction and a better experience for the user if I didn't over-explain it.
Right.
Because some people I'd be like, hey, look at this thing. It changes every time you see it. And then they scan it, then they do this. And they're like, oh, because they expected it, right?
They're anticipating it, yeah.
But if I just say, hey, this is an artwork I created, scan the QR code and it's a little experience. They scan the experience. I'm like, okay, now point at it. Then they're like, oh my God, it's AR. Oh my goodness, how could this happen? And then I'm like, that's so cool. They go to put it away. I'm like, oh, by the way, if you scan it again, it's a completely different experience. And then they're like, my goodness, I can't believe it. And then that might be something that they remember, they talk about. So like that's I think what I aim for when I create things.
Yeah, it does create that surprise. You know, like when you don't explain, it's like they're just discovering it for themselves rather than being.
Discovery is really important.
Yeah. Okay. True. Is there anything? Okay. So that excitement is like brand differentiation. Is there anything else that could maybe help differentiate your brand?
Differentiate your brand. I would say like I could say certain things that could be like if you can give somebody a sense of ownership.
Okay.
That's also really important. Like something that allows somebody to be like, I'm part of this, like a community aspect.
Right.
I think that could be really like important and powerful. And I don't think a lot of businesses are really considering that right now.
Right.
Because that is a realm of NFT that's pretty prominent. You know, if you like are part of it, right? Like if you own one of the tokens, you're a part of that community just because you own it. Right. And there's a sense of ownership in that. I think that can be really powerful, part of like a community mentality. I think that's something that people could really be thinking about more.
So you think in the future it would be a good idea for brands or for businesses to get more involved in NFTs so they can create a community from it?
Yeah. Community, like focusing on community is really good because it's, you're basically, when you create an NFT project and you actually support it, not like every other NFT project where you take it, everybody buys it initially and you're like, haha, thanks for the money, losers. And then you know what I mean? It's not that, right?
People are scared of that.
When you actually create a project and you actually say, hey, this is for the people that really like us, right? If you're doing that, then it really matters because what you're doing is you're saying, hey, out of all of the people that follow me on social media, who actually likes me enough to put their money up for me. So basically it's like, who's willing to bet on me, right? And then the deciding factor of whether your NFT project is successful or not is dependent on whether or not you like give back to those people. If you support them the most, then what you have is now your favorite, like the group of people that like you the best. Now they will like you more and more and more and more, and they will spread your message and they will help you out. That's the community brand building that people are doing with NFTs. They're still doing it. They're doing it now. They have been doing it for like 2-3 years. Doesn't matter if the NFT market's going down, up, they're still building it. And as long as you continue to support that group, they will support you.
Yeah, totally. Like for one, you have your demographic there. So you know who you're trying to help and you know the right direction to take your business in. And the second thing is people trust word of mouth more than anything else. So when you get them to advocate for you, then that's the key. That's the key. That's great. Okay. Can you share an example of a brand campaign where WebAR or animated packaging led to like uniquely high engagement?
I would say the 19 Crimes wine bottle.
Okay.
You heard about that?
No, I haven't actually.
So the 19 Crimes wine bottle, it's like an Australian branded wine, and it's focused on like criminals of the past and their stories, right? And what they do is they go QR to app. This was an older version of this, right? Where they go QR to app, and then the app you scan the image. So it scans the image, and then it plays a video, like a curved video, on top of the bottle, and each bottle has like the mugshot basically of the criminal, and then they will basically tell their story on the bottle.
This is so good for, like, I'm just thinking of all us girls that watch true crime at night and we're sitting there with our glass of wine and he went down the stairs and then he found the body. Like, and you could actually see this, like, and it's so cool that you could do the curve thing. Oh, that's really awesome. Now I want to buy this freaking wine.
Exactly. And like people are mentioning it because of that. And then you had like a bunch of app downloads of an app that nobody would download, but since it has the wine bottle, then they want to try it, download the app, scan the bottle. And then now, and then with this part, it's like a storytelling medium that most people don't have. And it still has a novelty effect. You know, there's still like, people aren't doing AR enough for it to be something commonplace. You know, when you do it, it still feels like it's a special moment, you know? So it's like, do you want this wine? And like wine's that kind of thing where it's like, there's not a lot of differentiation on the shelf. Right. So when you have like, what do you want to get for your friend? You know, you're buying something. You have no idea about wine. You know, you're just there in the shop and then and then this one has like, this has a cool additional augmented reality thing that you can scan and then talk about, and it's perfect for dinner conversation. Well, I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I like to buy the bottle that looks the prettiest and doesn't always taste the best. But if you can have good conversation that goes along with this bottle, that's kind of what, okay, that's really neat. That's really neat. Okay. Are AR and 3D animations only for big brands with huge budgets?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a misconception. And that was mainly around when you needed an app.
Right.
Because app development, that takes a lot of time. Right. But now you just go WebAR, and then you just, like, all it is just code on your website. It's just code on your website. And then that runs the entire thing. Okay.
So you need a coder though. But
like,
a lot of people are coders.
And a lot of people have access to a developer to be able to hire on and build something, right? But it's basically like making like a fancier web page. It's that, and you need a 3D animator, or you can just, if you want to do the AI route, you can go through the AI route, but you should have somebody, like, it's not going to cost nothing, right? But for smaller brands with smaller budgets, yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you want to be that differentiation. Like if you have a good idea and you want to actually connect with your clients, then that's a great idea. How do you work with a client to design a campaign that's both creative and technically feasible, especially for companies that are new to AR?
Well, I would just kind of, for somebody that's really new, we have to figure out if you have a mascot yet, right? Okay. If you don't have a mascot, we need to build that character that's going to represent you and your brand basically in perpetuity. You want to have that like iconography. And then when we build that, and then we think about the story that you're trying to tell, right? I think it's all about storytelling. It's a storytelling medium, right? So when you have somebody step into your world, what do you want to show them? What do you want them to feel? And then you can take, this is why I say it's emotional infrastructure, because you want to trigger the emotional response that you want to achieve. And then you can tell your story that is kind of based around your product. If you trigger the emotions in people, right? If you make somebody feel something, then that resonates with them, because like people remember through emotions, not through facts. Right. People remember through emotions.
That's so true. Like you were saying, like if you have that kind of differentiation and excitement, or anything else that triggers like an intense emotional reaction, then you've got your person. That's good. Okay. So when a lot of brands are differentiating themselves with like AR cards or scavenger hunts or any kind of other portfolio, what actually makes individuals want to engage with these techniques? Like I know like even still a lot of AR that we're using right now, like you have to scan a QR code or like download an app. But how can you actually make someone want to scan that code?
So just imagine if you had to roll up the rim, right? You roll up the rim, there's like a giveaway, you know, you can scan your thing, go through that step, right? Having sort of the giveaways or the marketing initiatives or role to be part of this thing is a really, if you're worried about that, it's probably the simplest route to go down of like scan here for your chance to this, continue, right? But there's something that's really important that's going to be coming up at the end of next year, which is going to be a really big transformation. Have you heard of the GS1 Sunrise 2027?
No.
So what that is, basically, currently every single product is mandatory that they have a barcode. Everybody needs to have a barcode, right? It has your GTIN number, right, which is a global identifier number of your product. So every single product in the world has a global number attached to that product. And by the start of 2027, every single product is going to need to upgrade that barcode to a QR code with the same number attached. Every single product is going to need to have a QR code. And that means that it is scannable by people like you and me, right? Every single product is going to need to have its own website. Every single product is going to need to have its very own website. And the question that I have to ask every single business is, what is your QR plan in 2027? Because that's when it starts. But if you start now, you can have a QR strategy. What's your QR strategy? Nobody's thinking about QR strategies.
Yeah, that's really smart because like, especially if someone wants to know a little bit more about the product, like where did this come from? Is it actually safe for me to buy? Like how was it made? Is it ethically sourced? They can just scan that QR code, right? But then that scan can also lead to these AR experiences or anything else that's memorable.
So this is why I'm saying people are going to get really, really comfortable with scanning QRs. You're going through the shopping mart. Okay, you grab a product off the shelf. As a consumer, we're already scanning at checkout ourselves. Right? We're already scanning through it. We have to find the barcode right now. In 2027, we're all going to have to find the QR code. We will all know where that is, right? So now we're already scanning the QR codes on the devices, but now we will know right away that we can scan the QR code and see it. So, and brands will put those QR codes where we can see it because they know, hey, we're doing marketing initiatives. The best brands will put it in the front-facing label of if you want to know where we're sourced, like coffee companies, they will do that because it matters where they're sourced, right? So you can go scan it. All of a sudden you scan it. Now you're having an experience in the shopping like center, right? You're looking around, you're seeing, oh, the mountains of this thing, that thing. And now you're having an experience with other people around you. And then they're like, oh, what's happening? And you're in the shopping center, like what? You're in the grocery store having an experience. Like it works well, like it could work well on cereal boxes. There's a QR code front facing because it's about showing the information of your product, but there's also marketing initiatives that can be attached to this, right? So that's massive and it's coming and nobody's talking about it.
Yeah. Why is no one talking about this? I feel like this is like a huge, because it's going to be mandatory.
It's going to be mandatory.
Wow. That's so great. Like you said, get on it first. Good for you.
Because if you start with it good, you can like try it, test it out, adjust it. And then by the time everybody else is like starting to do it, you've already gone through the block like 4 quarters and now you know what you're doing. And now you have your seasonal stuff and you hit all the, you know what I mean? Hit Christmas, hit Halloween, your different versions of the packaging. Seasonal packaging could be really good too.
Yeah, listening to this now means you're ahead of the competition. That's really great. Okay, cool. I'm surprised that I didn't know about this. This is great.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you see as the next big leap in packaging or experiential storytelling or where technology is heading that we haven't already talked about?
I don't know what we haven't talked about, but I think the GS1 thing is probably the biggest.
Right.
Because as a technological step, it's really just stepping up the numbers that you have on that QR code because it can link to a website and it could link individually per product. You could make something where it's like you scan it and then it brings you to an experience, it brings you to a website. Like I feel like that's the biggest biggest thing in terms of technology.
Yeah, totally, for sure. Especially for the rest of us normal people. I want to say that because I'm going to start talking about what about crypto? What about crypto and NFTs? How far off do you think that is?
I actually have a better answer for you.
Okay.
I have a better answer for you. Well, I guess we did talk about it a little bit, but like I think the part of it where you scan the QR code, right? You look at the thing, and then the brand mascot talks to you with like I would say AI animations would be pretty big, because one of the current problems with AI and art is there's a big divide between people that like the simplicity of AI, right? And then they're like, oh my God, what about the human artists, right? There's this big divide, right? There's one problem that AI solves that human artists can't really join into, and that is AI-powered animations. So if you create an animation, a character, right, they could have actions, right? And that's like if you want to wave, you want to do a thing, all those animations are baked into the character. You could actually have an AI play individual animations based on a conversation that you're having with it. So all of the art is made by humans. And AI is just the orchestrator of be like, oh, you want a happy character. He's happy now. You want a sad character based on your conversation. He's sad now. You want the, so it because that's something that a human can't jump into, right? So we're still going to be able to leverage AI in the conversation. People are going to be comfortable with that, but we still have all of the visuals created by humans. Right. And then there's some element of that, right? It's not, I feel like that's the middle ground. I find that a lot of the times people get polarized, but if you look in the middle, there's some merger of the two that's like good and healthy. And I really do think that is going to be a big player in the future, because 3D animation, 3D characters, they will be prominent. It's going to continue to grow. And I just imagine like a kid, they have a little app on their phone that gives them a little orb character that flies around and says, hey, and is their friend. And they go around, they run around the house, they scan that. And it's still made by humans, and just like you can have a conversation with it and it just changes the way it behaves. And it feels very natural, but all of the visuals have been really decided on in advance. And that I think makes it safer than a lot of what we're seeing with AI, where it's like, oh my God, how could the AI say this? How could the AI look like this? It's because people haven't really defined the role of the AI and the role of the human. But if you really focus on that, you can create something truly great.
For sure. Yeah. That's the perfect marrying of the artist and then how that AI is going to respond to that specific customer. Like there's parameters about how this character can act, doesn't hallucinate outside of that.
Yeah.
And because the artist made the vision. Yep.
Visual hallucination is pretty bad. Like if you have, because I found that a lot of the times you'll have characters that, like, the uncanny valley is something you really want to avoid.
Right.
And I see a lot of the humanoid AI avatars, just like you're like they're talking, you're just like, please stop.
Yeah, something's not clicking in your brain. You're like, there's the that's wild. So it's nice to be able to have that design created by the artist. That's so great. Yeah. Okay, cool. For someone who is listening, who wants to bring a more emotional storytelling or surprise to their brand's packaging, what's one piece of advice you would give them to get started?
So there's two main things that I'm thinking about. One is making sure that your brand stands out on the shelf. I heard this really amazing idea where what you should do is, like, if you imagine your product in the rows on the shelf, you should be able to squint and look far away from your product and see that it shows up. If you squint, it's the blur test, right? That I found to be like a really like transformational idea on how I think about product packaging design, because you're really thinking about it from every single step. Because sometimes when you're going through, like a consumer isn't really looking too much. Like, oh, if I want to get like pickles, right? I think I want green and a little bit of red at the top. You know what I mean? Because of the Bix pickles.
Yeah,
that's what they have, right? So it's like that's something you should be thinking about when designing the broad part of your thing. And then the next thing you should be thinking about is now somebody's holding it, right? Now you want to think, okay, they're now focused on it. What's going to pull them in? And then if you want to have like a branding moment on that product, you want some QR to bring to your next step, whether that's AR, whether that's website, whether that's this, you know what I mean? If you want to really show off that you have everything ethically sourced, you can have something, a QR code, very prominent, right? Or you can design them so it doesn't look like there's a QR code there. Design it, right? And then have that link to your sourcing, put in big letters, it goes to the sourcing. For whatever your initiative is, I imagine that's going to be big and prominent in 2027, 2026 too. People are going to start to move early.
Great. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, yeah, I'm really excited of what's going to be coming with this. I'm trying to think of how I can actually make a product with a QR code that's going to differentiate itself. Or
are you focused on products? Like for what you're doing right now, the podcast, right? Mm-hmm. I'm flipping the script now.
Sure, yeah,
so
okay.
You're doing the podcast. Mm-hmm. Is this the main part of what you're doing, or do you have other branching parts?
Yeah, so this is a studio that anyone can come in, press a button, the editing is done for them, and like all the lighting is kind of self-sufficient, it self-regulates. So it's just very easy for people to come in and record the podcast. Okay. I think the owner of the studio, Jeremy Prudhomme, was making a little character. Actually, he's like a little monster. He's got little horns. He's got little pod shoes on. So he's trying to make a little bit of a brand moment out of that. I think that'll be cute. You
should have the headset.
Yeah, he's got a headset on.
You should have the headset. That's very important.
Yeah.
And then you could do. So one thing I was thinking of initially, you should do a 3D scan of the room from this seat and from that seat.
Okay.
Right? Because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, as I'm coming in, it's like, okay, what shirt do I wear? Right? How should I be thinking about it? Trying to settle the nerves of everybody that you have. You could have like a QR code where you scan it. Now you're in the room. You're like, this is what it's going to be like.
Okay.
That might help people out just to get here mentally. That might help them like that. That's like one little add-on you can do. And you can do it pretty easily. You can, there's devices you can do to do like an HDRI. You just do like a 3D video thing. You just get that once. It's like literally one texture. It's pretty simple.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's neat. Yeah, because I feel like I've had people act a certain way outside, and then when they come in the room, they're like, okay, the nerves are here.
Yes.
What do I say?
But for those people, getting a visual beforehand could look, and it's like having these AR experiences, it's always super different depending on your use case. There's so many different ways to attack something. So it's like one step is like, if you're going to have somebody on as a guest, having that visual thing of like knowing what everything looks like is like helpful.
Yeah. Or even like where to go to plug in your computer or like do this so that people that overthink are able to come and be like, okay, we plug it in here, we start here, we go here, let's get it started. So that's really smart.
Because a lot of people want to rehearse beforehand.
Yes.
You know? And then if you did want to, like if you're going crazy with it, you could have, if you wanted to go really out there, you could have the character play through and do a mock interview beforehand. Like that's like now you're really going into it. So like this is what I'm saying, there's levels to it. Like you can start out with AR really cheap. You just make the one thing, helps people a little bit. Then you could do a step up and then have the character there in the other spot. And then and then
oh, that's so smart.
And then if you get enough branding through that, you could also do marketing initiatives with that character where you could do you could get like VTubers to do a digital podcast focused only on, like you'd have one person that would play your digital character, right? That would interview specifically VTubers and other brand mascot characters. You could have a fully digital podcast.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
And that's just like the ideas that I came up with on the top of my head. It's
literally in 30 seconds. Yeah. Okay, Matt. Yeah. Okay, that's crazy. You gotta write these down. Get IP.
Well, we recorded it. We're good.
Yeah, that's true. We know what lawyers. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for all your insight. I'm so excited to see what comes in the next few years, and I'm excited to look at your projects as well. I'm very interested in mascots now more than I've ever been, but this is great. I'm very excited for you.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Kristen. It was great to be here. Lovely to chat.